Welcome in this e-learning program of the economics for class 10. We have started this chapter and we have learned about the overview and the different people, different goal. Today we learn about the topic income and other goals. The last time we have understood that income is very primary role in individual's life. But today we'll think about whether income is only the thing which is required in the human life. No, obviously your answer will be no. So we'll learn here what are the basic and the fundamental things which is required other than income. So our topic is income and other goals. Last time we have seen so many examples in which we will conclude that what are the common desire of a person. So common desire of a person is regular work, better wage and decent price. So these are the things which is required to everyone. But besides these goals, which are related to our monetary gains or monetary benefits. But besides these, what are the important things which is required in everyone's life? And these are equal treatment. We will count like this. Besides the better monetary benefits, people also desire what? The number one is equal treatment. The second one is freedom, third one is security, and the fourth one is respect. These things are seemings that sometimes these are most important than income, because only material things which we measure in terms of money is not important for us. Besides these are the also important things in individual's life. So we conclude here that beside the monetary gain, we require equal treatment, freedom, security and respect. And conclusion is that for development, people look at a mix of both. It means including monetary gain, all these requirements are essential for individual life. Our next topic is national development. National development, when we will talk about it, we have seen that different people have different goals. So it is quite obvious that notion of the national development will be different for different people, because individual requirement is different. So regarding the notion of the national development will also different for different people. So we can conclude this topic like this one. Different person could have different as well as conflicting notion of a country's development. As we have seen in the last example that an industrialist and a Adivasi from Narmada Valley, they both have different goals, but that the difference is not normal. The difference is conflicting, because an industrialist require more electricity by making hydel dams on the Narmada river, but Adivasi from Narmada river never want to be displaced from there for the making of high-rise dams. So the conclusion is different person could have different as well as conflicting notion of country's development. The next topic, how to compare different countries. Now our task is to compare different countries and regard them which one is developed, which one is developing and which one is underdeveloped. So as we all know that to compare two or more things, we have some criteria. On that criteria we should decide whether a particular thing is better, more better or best or inferior. So likewise, when we are going to compare different countries, we should have some criteria. So the most important criteria for comparing countries, their income is considered to be the one of the most important attributes. But once again I am saying that while comparing countries, income is the most important attribute to compare them, because we have some assumptions while taking it as major as standard for criterion. So why we are taking income as the most important criterion to compare the development of the countries? Because more income means more of all the things. Suppose a person have more money, so it is supposed that he could buy more of the things which he requires. The second one is people will be able to get more with more money. This one is also quite obvious. If you have more money, then it is supposed, it is assumed that you have potential to buy more and more things with your more money. So income is considered to be one of the most important goal. These three things, on this basis, we can say that to compare two or more countries, we should take income as the most important criteria to compare two or more countries. Yes, we have learnt so far income is the most important attribute to measure whether a country is developed or not. Today we will learn about national income. Actually, the national income is very simple term. It is simply income of all the residents of a country. We will call that sum as national income. Very simple, because whenever all the income of the population of a country is added up, the total sum will be regarded as the total national income of the country. But total income of a country is not such an useful measure, because it does not tell us what an average person likely to earn. Just we have said that income is the most important attribute to compare two countries. But we are finding some limitation in the national income while comparing two countries. What are the limitations of the national income? National income of a country is not such an useful measure, because it does not tell us what an average person likely to earn. Because through the national income, we cannot going to learn or understand about the average income of a person. So it has one limitation. The first limitation is it cannot tell us what is the average income of a person. Simply it tells the total income of the country, income of all the residents when added, we get the national income. And the second limitation of the national income to compare two countries or more is, are the people of one country better of another country? Means कि क्या एक कंट्री का एक एवरेज आदमी दूसरे कंट्री से बेटर स्थिति में है इकोनॉमिकली या नहीं, ये हमें नेशनल इनकम से पता नहीं चलता. So we have seen two limitations of national income. The first one is what an average person likely to earn, and the second one is, are the people of one country better of people of the another country? Because countries have different population. Because country has different population, so we cannot say with the national income that particular one country is better of than the another country. We can explain this fact with an example. Suppose there is a country which name is C1 and its income is 500 in its own money, currency, and the population is 10. It is hypothetical country, but with this data we can conclude that the average income of the country is equal to 50, because total income is equal to 500 and population is 10. So whenever we divide 500 by 10, we will get average as 50. Let us suppose another country, its name is C2, and its income is 1000 and population is 25. So what will be its average? 1000 divided by 25 is equal to 40. So we have seen here that although income of this country is only 500, but its average income is 50, and income of this country is 1000, more than this 500, but its average income is 40. So which country will be regarded as better off? Obviously this country will be regarded as better off than this country, because average person of this country is earning rupees or it's 50 in its own currency, and in this country having more income, more national income, but because it has more population, so its average income is 40. So definitely we should take as criteria to compare the two countries whether which one is developed or which one is not developed. So we must take average income, not total income. Okay. So with two limitations we have seen that average income is the most important attribute to compare country. In the last class we have seen that the national income is the most important criteria, But later, with the advancement of the technology or thought or knowledge, it has been found that it is not national income, but it is average income, which is most important attribute to country compare two or more countries. And with regard to this, we'll find formula for average income or per capita income. This average income is also called per capita income. This per capita income is total income of the country and by the total population. This one is the very simple formula which I think all of you know, very usual to this one. So total income, or this one is also regarded as per capita income. It is equal to total income of the country by total population. In World Development Report brought out by World Bank, per capita income is used as classifying countries. Just I have told you earlier that national income is not too much useful. So while comparing countries, World Bank make or take criteria as per capita income, because while comparing, World Bank what criteria it uses per capita income. And in 2012, per capita income having US dollar 12,616. If per capita income is more than or equal to US dollar 12,616, that country we are regarded as rich country. This data is of in 2012. So in 2012, if a country has income more than or equal to $12,616, that will they were regarded as rich country, and country having less than or equal to $1,035, they were regarded as low income country. And about India on that particular year has $1,530 US, so that was categorized under low middle income country. So this one is the data pertaining to the World Bank. World Bank with its own criteria decide countries on this particular basis in 2012. Now the next topic we are going to arrive at, income and other criteria. Just we have seen, while preferring income as the most important attribute, people also think about their security, their freedom, their equality. So likewise, while we are talking about the national income, I think all of you be agree that there should be some another criteria also to compare two countries. It is not only the national income or per capita income which should be taken into consideration to decide whether a country is developed or underdeveloped. So when we think about a nation or a region, beside average income, we think equally important attributes, because income by itself is not a complete adequate indicator of material goods and services, because money in our pocket cannot buy all the things which is required for a human being, which is urgent. Because suppose you are living in a place, you have too much money in your pocket, but there is no any good hospital in your surroundings. So whenever anyone is falling in ill, then there is no hope for him to get the medical assistance in the hospital. So it is said that money in our pocket cannot buy all the goods and services that a person needs to live well. So this one is our conclusion now, that only monetary power is not sufficient to decide whether a particular person or a particular nation is developed or not. Thank you.